Derek Sheridan from Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network and Basketball Nexus website. On Wednesday, December 31st, 2025, I was blessed with the opportunity to host an RBCN Basketball Nexus Courtcast with one of the hottest names in all of NCAA Division I basketball, Coach Johnny Tauer, the head men's coach of the University of St. Thomas out of the beautiful city of St. Paul, Minnesota. Coach Tauer has been a part of the Tommies program since the early 1990s and has just earned his 300th career win. In this Courtcast, Coach Tauer discusses the Tommies' leap from Division III to Division I and how they've had success at the Division I level. Additionally, Coach Tauer discusses his journey, offensive principles, their brand new Lee and Penny Anderson Athletic Arena, and a lot of other intriguing information regarding Tommy basketball. The full version of Coach Tauer and I's Courtcast is available on our website. Our web address and contact information is available below. God bless, and I hope you, your family, and your program have a 2026 full of good health and happiness. Derek Sheridan from Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network and Basketball Nexus website. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We are so lucky to have one of my favorite coaches in all of NCAA basketball, Coach Johnny Tauer, the head coach of the St. Thomas Tommies from the Summit League.
There's I don't want to say a right way to play basketball, but there are certain foundational skills and techniques, and I think our guys buy into that. And it's been fun to make the jump from Division III to Division I and see how that transition has worked.
One of the things that's most impressive about the way the St. Thomas Tommies play reminds me back of when Bo Ryan coached, how quickly your boys swing the ball.
Because I know Coach very well. He's actually one of the guys that I looked up to in college, in part because we played them my sophomore year. It was the first time. He was certainly one of the coaches that showed that if you can get your team to play the right way, I don't care what level it is, whether it's AAU, high school, middle school, college, or the NBA. Again, he always talked about passing and catching, and so turnovers, that's been a hallmark of our program, is we try to take incredibly good care of the basketball. In fact, he texted me our first year, excuse me, in Division I. We were playing with 9 former Division III players, but all 5 of our starters were. So you imagine April of 2021, they're all playing Division III basketball. They had their eyes set on a national title, and their last 2 years, COVID cut both those years short. And then we jumped to Division I, and a bunch of serendipitous factors conspired. And all of a sudden they looked at each other the first game we played, and all 5 of them were still starting. And that year we led the nation in fewest turnovers that year. When I think about what I learned from these guys, and you and I didn't plan this, but it is interesting talking coaching philosophies. We knew he was a great player coming out of high school. His freshman year, he was fabulous. He played an undersized power forward for us. He's just tough and smart. And he's just about as humble a kid as you could ever meet. Like you're around him. And at the end of at the start of this season, I remember talking to him about his role and how, I learned a while ago from a really good coach who talked about, 3 best shots in basketball. The decision-making component of basketball combined with the team connectedness and trust, to me, those are sort of 2 of when you see them on a team, it's the coolest things to watch. The Golden State Warriors at their peak, 15, 16, 17, 18, and they still play that way.
It seems like that is something that, since Bob Knight and Gene Cady and Dick Bennett and Bo Ryan and those guys are no longer around in the coaching world, that seems like it's not as prevalent as it once was. So that was the very first thing I noticed, other than the pace of your play during that first game I saw, was how you were going after certain.
We try to do that. If you think about big buckets on offense, we've got 8 offensive principles. We have those principles, how we play. And then we have a system, and a lot of that comes from John Beilein and his 2-guard system that he ran before Michigan. Again, you have those moments as a young coach, you're like, that's what I want us to look like. So there's the quantitative, like, okay, the X's and O's and the stats and all that, but there's also the qualitative. This looks like I want us to play.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about offense, I think all those buckets matter a lot. And then we try to tailor it to our player strengths. And then you're right, you try to identify weaknesses in the other team. But as I'm saying all those things, it's really paralysis by analysis. It's very easy for a team to get bogged down when we say, I think there's an art and science to it that you can talk about it. But I will say this, teams switched a lot against us. People ask why we've done probably better in this transition than a lot expected. It's not 24 wins last year. It's not 20 the year before. It's not 19 the year before. It's because they figured out if they did that, we were much easier to guard. If they didn't do it, we were probably going to get you with some off-ball screening. We were going to shoot a lot of threes. We might shoot 40 threes that night. That 2 hours, I always feel like on game night, as coaches, how do we stay out of the way, but just move a couple levers here or there that might tilt the game and are very subtle? How do you create space for the best players, and then how do you attack mismatches? And to do that, it's a little like scheduling in basketball. You can try to do them all at once. You're probably not gonna. And I tell our players this regularly. I hope they all find a job that they're as passionate about 37 years into it as he is. You watch him in a gym when he just gets people moving on offense, and it's, when you talk about something that somebody was born to do, it's like that. You can tell that is his happy. It's been really fun. When we jumped from D3 to D1, that was not the easiest thing.
And what a luxury you have, having an AD who has that amount of foresight and commitment to excellence.
Well, and it feels great when any organization, you talk about alignment, and Rob Vischer, who is our president. Yeah, you asked about the arena. I think the arena is a culmination of a lot of generosity and unbelievable leadership. If people get a chance to get out and see it, they definitely should.